We want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer.
Behind Savannah Guthrie's warm smile on morning television lies a life shaped by quiet heartbreak, resilience, and loss. To millions of viewers, she's the steady, reassuring presence on NBC's Today Show, composed, intelligent, and endlessly professional. But long before the bright studio lights and national recognition, Savannah's life took a painful turn that would forever alter her sense of security. Her father, Charles Guthrie, died suddenly of a heart attack. One day he was there, a guiding force in her life, and the next, he was gone. The loss came without warning, leaving Savannah, her mother, and her siblings to navigate grief at an age when life is supposed to feel open and full of possibility. She has spoken openly about how devastating that moment was. Losing a parent as a teenager is not just about grief, it's about losing the future you thought you understood. Savannah has described feeling untethered, forced to grow up quickly while still trying to figure out who she was. That early loss instilled in her both vulnerability and strength, qualities that would later define her career as a journalist. After her father's death, Savannah watched her mother shoulder the weight of holding the family together. The experience deeply influenced Savannah's worldview. She became driven, focused, and determined not to let tragedy define her limits. Education became her anchor. She excelled academically, eventually earning a law degree before transitioning into journalism, a path that combined intellect with empathy. Yet, success did not shield her from further heartbreak. Before becoming a mother, Savannah endured 2 miscarriages, a deeply personal struggle she later chose to share publicly. For years, she carried that pain privately, smiling through broadcasts while grappling with the silent grief that so many women experience alone. When she finally spoke about it, she did so not for sympathy, but to help others feel less isolated. She described the emotional toll of loss, the hope, the excitement, and then the quiet devastation that follows. Miscarriage, she explained, doesn't just take a pregnancy, it takes innocence and replaces it with fear. Even joy becomes cautious. Her honesty resonated with countless viewers who saw their own pain reflected in her words. Savannah eventually welcomed 2 children, Vale and Charlie, but motherhood came with its own emotional weight.
Trump's now deploying all federal law enforcement in a desperate attempt to find the people who are holding Savannah Guthrie's mom ransom. Right, because Nancy Guthrie's been missing for 5 days and counting, with a trail of blood reportedly being found outside of her home in Tucson after she was abducted. Now, at first you saw reports that her son-in-law was the prime suspect in the case since he was the last person to see her alive, but now you have the cops saying that they have no suspects. And while police still believe that she's alive, given that she has high blood pressure, cardiac issues, and a pacemaker, all of that could change on a dime. And that's why you had Savannah Guthrie, who's the co-host on the Today Show, and her siblings releasing this heartbreaking plea to their mother's abductor.
The joy of becoming a parent was inseparable from the fear born of past loss. She has admitted that being a mother made her more sensitive to the fragility of life, a feeling that traces directly back to losing her father so young. Her personal life also faced upheaval. Savannah's divorce from her first husband, which she has described as painful and humbling, forced her to confront disappointment and self-reflection in the public eye. Though she rarely speaks in detail about that chapter, she has acknowledged that it was a time of emotional reckoning, learning to let go of what she thought her life would look like and accepting what it was becoming. Through all of this, Savannah maintained her on-air composure. Viewers rarely saw the exhaustion, the grief, or the moments of doubt, but colleagues have often described her as deeply empathetic, someone who listens closely and feels deeply. That sensitivity, born from loss, is what makes her interviews feel human rather than performative. When Savannah asks difficult questions or responds to breaking news with visible emotion, it is not an act. It is the voice of someone who understands pain, not as a headline, but as a lived experience. In recent years, she has spoken more openly about how grief never truly leaves. It softens, it changes shape, but it remains. Losing her father decades ago still influences how she loves, how she parents, and how she shows up for others. Tragedy did not harden her, it expanded her capacity for compassion. Savannah Guthrie's story is not one of dramatic scandal or public collapse. It is quieter, more relatable, and perhaps more powerful because of that. It is the story of a woman who learned early that life can change in an instant and who chose again and again to move forward with grace. Behind the polished anchor desk is a woman shaped by loss, strengthened by survival, and defined not by the tragedy she endured, but by the empathy she carried forward from them.